Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very, very happy Tuesday to you here. January the 11th. That is right, 11 days into 2022. And we got ourselves some NBA on the card tonight to talk about. I believe 6 games in total, but we're going to break down a few of them, see if we can find some edges. And we're going to do it with 3 distinguished gentlemen here on the show. And I mean distinguished, too. It doesn't get any better than these 3 guys. Ski Prophet in the house up top there. Teddy Covers joining us again today. And Mr. Rob Vino here, ready to make that cash register ring on a Tuesday. Ski, what's going on, my man? What you doing? No Laker game tonight to get pissed about. So what's going on here? What do you got locked and loaded over at WagerTalk.com?
Well, so far today, probably is going to be all I played today, but I have 4 plays, I believe, in the association. And yesterday, I started off the week pretty good. I went 6-0, about 58.7% my last 211 in the NBA. Hopefully, I can keep that going today.
All right, let's do it here, guys. Some interesting games, including a write-in game here with Detroit and Chicago tonight. But Teddy, continuing to cash those tickets, my friend. What do you got locked and loaded at WagerTalk and/or SportsMemo.com?
I love how understated Ski is. He's like, yeah, I went 6-0 last night. It was an okay start to the week. it's like, yeah, I'll take a 6-0. I had one of those nights in the NBA last night that I was ready to rip my hair out. You know, I had the Cavs who were up by 10 with 2 minutes left and then don't score again and then end up winning by 1. And I had the Bucks who had 1,000 chances against Charlotte and did not play a good last 2 minutes. So the 2 minutes last night of both games were no fun for myself and my clients. That being said, I expect to turn it around tonight. I got a 3-pack up right now over at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. 2 in the association, 1 in the college ranks. And I'll give you one of those 2 plays in the association before we're done on this show.
Ooh, love it. All right, good stuff there, guys. Make sure you visit Teddy over at WagerTalk and/or SportsMemo.com. And Mr. Rob Vino, what is going on, Rob? Listen, Texas Southerner side, my friend. All right. How was the evening there last night? And, of course, I know you got to be ready to go tonight in the association.
Yeah, we're also ready to go because it's $2 Tuesday, and I happen to be that guy today.
Boom.
So that play is up and available at WagerTalk.com. NBA, much like the 2 guys above me here, 3 plays for myself in NBA action. So you can get those at WagerTalk.com. And, you know, the Rockets make this easy, Robert Harris. I'm going to take my time to take a quick shot here. They lost 2 times within a week to the Sixers with Furkan Korkmaz at point guard by 20 points each time. You can't do that, Robert Harris. You can't lose to Furkan Korkmaz or whatever, a 6'10" point guard. Stop it. Win that game, Robert. Cover that game. Do something.
Poor Robert is our esteemed producer behind the scenes. He lives in Houston. He loves his Rockets. He does like Texas Southern as well, and at least they covered last night, Rob, but I feel your pain. No more Rockets for me. They are officially, Ski, on the what are you kidding me list. Absolutely not. Let's kick it off, guys, with our contrarian play of the day. We hit it last night with the Indiana Pacers as that number continued to climb. So just about 9.5 before the tip, but they got the cover against Boston. Tonight we'll see if the Oklahoma City Thunder can get it done here, as they, for some reason, seem to be catching, I believe, 9 points tonight in this. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong game. I'm sorry. Why don't I give you the right game, which would be New Orleans, the Pelicans, rather. I'm sorry. Can you tell what I'm playing tonight in that matchup there? The Pelicans, I'm sorry, plus 3.5, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves here. And let's face it, the T-Wolves they've had some issues, but they seem to be cashing more tickets than not here lately, Ski. And, man, I don't know. On the road against this New Orleans team, 3.5 seems a bit much. What do you think we're going to see tonight from them?
Yeah, I don't want to bet on the Pelicans. I kind of gave that up way earlier in the year. They've won, 2 of their last 6 games. Where Minnesota's been playing way better than that lately. I think they've won 4 of their last 5. I could be wrong. I know they've covered 6 of their last 5 game stats. All favor Minnesota. Their top 10 offensive rated team, defensive rated team, rebound percentage team. And the guys that I care about are in the lineup. Russell, Edwards, and Towns. So no way, Jose. I'm not riding with the contrarian play today.
No way. He is backing the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, Teddy, let me ask you here. And granted, they've been good. I think 11-3 against the number, 9-5 straight up here over the last couple of weeks. But talk to me here. Do you think the Pelicans can stay within this number?
Who's been really good like that in the last couple of weeks? Was that the Minnesota or New Orleans?
Yes, Minnesota. Yes.
Minnesota is a bet-on team. Absolutely, they are a bet-on team in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different roles. I think if you do nothing but bet the T-Wolves for the next 10 games, the next 20 games, I think you'll make money. But not tonight because of the spot here for Minnesota. Look, they're coming off 2 games against OKC and Houston and then the Clippers before that. So they haven't played anybody lately. They're coming off their best shooting game of the year, a game where they couldn't miss. And before that against OKC, it was very they shot 60% against OKC. And then 50-something% against Houston and rain in threes. I can't ask any team to do that multiple times in a row. But the biggest issue for New Orleans, schedule-wise, this stretch to open 2022 was as brutal. Look who they played. They played the Cavs, the Bucks, the Jazz, the Suns, the Warriors, and the Raptors. Every one of them a playoff team. Every one of them a good team in their last 6 ball games. I'm not calling this a step down in class, but it's a step down in class compared to what they've been facing. I think the Pelicans and the quotes coming out of New Orleans, hungry quotes after the stretch. I think they hang tough tonight. Take the points. I'll go contrarian.
All right, they're back in the contrarian gods here, Rob Fino. What do you think here? Minnesota, is it one of those times now where, yes, they're good. We get it. They've been cashing tickets. Maybe not the greatest spot tonight to back them.
Yeah, these games are tricky, Joe, because we have to sift through so much of these results where who was actually on the floor for your opponent at the time. And I'm going to agree with a lot of what Teddy said here, that the Minnesota streak, while, it does result in W's and it does result in cashing tickets, I don't know how impressive it is to, murder the Rockets, to beat OKC twice, once without SGA. And other guys in the lineup, to beat the Clippers, who have been depleted basically since the loss of George. And then, to lose by 5 to the Lakers, who have been up and down all season long. So I don't know. As much as I like the Timberwolves, I don't know that I put a lot of stock into that streak. However, New Orleans doesn't qualify as any great shakes either. They're right in there with that bunch that I just named off. But I think New Orleans' health is as good as it's been all season long right now. It showed up in the last 2 games, 2 wins or covers over good teams, Toronto and Golden State. Toronto, full again, right? And then Golden State as well. I don't think Golden State might not have had Draymond in that game, but still to beat Golden State's good or to cover. So I think that the health means a lot to them. Thomas Satoransky back tonight to give them some depth at the point. I'm going to side with the contrarian gods. I rarely do it, but I think tonight plus the points, New Orleans might be the way to go.
And you'll finally make some money backing him tonight. Way to go, Rob Vino. Spot is tough here, guys. I believe what is this? Every other night, really much. Another third straight road game for Minnesota here tonight. Every other night they seem to be playing. So we're going to go ahead back to Pelicans plus 3.5 for the contrarian play of the day. All right, let's talk about this featured matchup tonight. Should shock nobody that we're going to talk here about the Golden State Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies here. And this game opened up somewhere right around pick a -1. It has since moved to -2s. I'm starting to see 2.5 starting to show up in the marketplace for the Golden State Warriors with a total of right around 220.5, 221 here, Teddy. So kick us off, man. A battle of a couple of maybe, I don't know, playoff bound, maybe Western Conference Championship. What do you think we're going to see here tonight?
So I'm in play on the side here for my clients. I'm going to talk about the total here on the show. And when you look at how these two teams played, they played a bunch of times. They played in the postseason. They played in the regular season. These two teams have been battling an emerging rivalry between the Warriors and the Grizzlies. You can go back to the start of the 2019-2020 season. They played 9 times. They've cashed 2 overs. One of those overs cashed in overtime. The other one cashed by a half point with a lower total than this. 113, 104 went over 216.5. So basically, in regulation, you make an argument, and probably I don't have the numbers with me, but I'm assuming if you shopped around, you could get pushed on that. So in regulation, we're talking about 8-0-1 to the under last 9 meetings, and I wouldn't expect anything different tonight, even without Draymond Green in the lineup for the Warriors. That's still a hard-nosed defensive-minded squad, and all these two teams do is play defensive scrums. Give me the under for the Warriors and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's been a battle there, as you guys saw with the previous meetings here. It should be a great game. I'm seeing Steven Adams, Memphis, questionable here tonight on the 4:30 report. Rob Vino, Gary Payton, as well as Otto Porter Jr., also questionable. But, of course, Draymond, like Teddy said, out here with calf injury. So what do you think, Rob? How you leaning in this one?
Yeah, I mean, right there, we talk about the 3 best defensive players on these two teams combined. If you were going to start an all-defensive team, you would start it with Dillon Brooks, Draymond Green, and Steven Adams. Those would be the first 3 guys you pick. None of those guys, if Adams doesn't play, you lose all of those guys in this game. So that would suggest a little easier time for the offenses. However, the other 2 injuries you talked about there, Joe, they're possibilities, they're question marks, but you may be without Otto Porter, you may be without Gary Payton. The second in the game where Golden State finally got their revenge against Memphis, that 113-104 win, those guys played key roles. They started in that game. So we'll see how it goes here as far as the injury report is concerned. I kind of lean towards where Teddy is as far as total is concerned. I would probably lean under. This push towards the over is a little bit head scratching. The only thing you can possibly think of is that, the return of Klay Thompson has people betting Golden State over. Didn't show up the other night, 96-82 against the Cavs. Could show up here if the defensive pieces don't play, but I'm not going to take my chances with that. I think where side is concerned, I would like the Golden State side here. Even without Draymond, I just think Golden State at this point in time is the better team. Memphis has played well. Their cover streak, I think, what are they, 6-1 or 7-1 last 8? They've been very, very good at covering numbers. And the Ja Morant, Steph Curry matchup here should be quite the matchup. But I think I would slightly lean Golden State. If Porter and Payton are in this game, I think I'm probably going to lean under the 221. Just think that's a reach to think that they're going to score that many.
Yeah, since November 28th, Memphis 19-4 straight up, 17-6 against the number. They have been a machine here, Ski. But I don't know. The band's back together here with Golden State. What do you think we're going to get here tonight?
Well, I feel pretty strong about this game in a couple different ways. You guys probably know what kind of players I like in the NBA. And I know Rob knows for sure, and that's going to be shooters. I look at this team, these two teams. Golden State, they are good at everything that I care about. They're a good rebounding team, good 3-point shooting team. They defend the three well. Memphis, all they do is rebound well. They're not a good 3-point shooting team, and they're bottom 5 defending the three. That is a recipe for disaster for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the Golden State Warriors. And I don't think Golden State is ever going to overlook Memphis in the near future because they knocked them out of the play-in game. I mean, Memphis, they've won 8 games in a row. Like Rob said, they've covered 7 of the 8, and they come in here as a dog. I think, books are kind of begging you to go in here and take Memphis. I like the Golden State side. I just, if you're going to tell me it's a bottom 5 3-point team versus Golden State, give it to me 7 days a week when they just got to kind of win the game. I will say this, teams on a 5+ win streak as a dog, they win 34.6% of the time straight up since 1995. That says fade Memphis tonight. So that's what I'll be doing. And something else that's interesting to me, maybe look at, like I said, Golden State is number 2 defending the three, I think, so far this season. Desmond Bane has been the only guy or one of the few guys who's actually shooting the ball well for Memphis. I think, they slow him down tonight. I'll be looking at an under Desmond Bane 3-point prop tonight. You're getting plus money at under 2.5 3-pointers. So that's what I like for this game.
All right, there you go, guys. Should be a hell of a matchup here tonight. Memphis hosting Golden State tonight. We'll move on to our overtime matchup. We'll focus on the total in this one, and it should also be a good one, although not a lot of people watching it. How about Phoenix taking on Toronto here? 223, 223.5, somewhere in that ballpark. For this one. And Rob Vino, I'll start with you here, my man. Talk to me about this Phoenix and this rejuvenated and healthy Toronto Raptors team. What do you think? Oh, up and over for you?
Yeah, if I can get some kind of confirmation that Gary Trent Jr. and Scotty Barnes are going to go here, then I think there's no other way to look other than over in this particular game. But right now, with Barnes and Trent Jr. both questionable, pretty big components to that team. As you mentioned, Joe, they just returned to full health about 5 games ago, and they've been on a rampage ever since. They could continue that rampage here if these guys are ready. I just don't have any up-to-date confirmation that they're going to be in the lineup. The problem for Barnes is a knee. The other side is an ankle. And I would suggest over because Toronto's a different team from what we know them as. This is not a Nick Nurse defensive-minded team. This is a team that doesn't play a heck of a lot of defense. Their numbers on the defensive side, even through the streak, haven't been real good. They're giving up points, but they're really scoring a lot of points as well. It's become a faster-paced offense. Phoenix doesn't mind that. They'll go with you. DeAndre Ayton, I know, is back. He didn't look great in his first game back, but I think we find that with a lot of these COVID situations where you get all excited. Oh, these guys are coming back, first game back, and the team, for the most part, is laid a dud. I have trouble, and Teddy, maybe you can speak to this as well. When you go to power rate these teams after the game result is in, and they've lost with their starters all returned, I have a hard time downgrading those teams. I've been chalking it up to these guys don't come back from COVID real quick. We'll see if Ayton plays well at the rim tonight. Again, if I can get those 2 guys for Toronto, I'm all in on over.
All right. If you get keep an eye on that report, still as of 4:30, both those guys are listed as questionable. But what about you, Ski, here? Toronto with no fans has been pretty profitable to the over. What do you think we're going to get tonight? Is it over or not for you?
It has to be. I mean, I agree with what Rob said. I definitely want, Gary Trent Jr. and Scotty Barnes in the lineup for the Raptors. But it's a one-way ticket for me. Either you're betting the over or you're just staying away from the total. They're combined 10-4 to the over the last 2 weeks. And I think Raptors have went over 5 of their last 6 home games. So one-way ticket for me, man. Up and over or stay out the way.
Teddy, looks like, what do we got? Ayton, McGee, Crowder, all back. Coach is back for Phoenix. Does that mean a lot of points here tonight in your mind?
No, I'll give the contrarian view on this side. First, you want to note breaking news: Bradley Beal has just been announced as out for Washington. So the money's going to pour in on OKC. It's starting to pour in already.
Yep.
If you can find a book that is sleeping, you can get involved with a good wager right now. So the Raptors have played a bunch of overs lately. All right. But they've shot the ball fairly well. Look at their defensive numbers. They've got, 105 they gave up, 108, 108, 101. They're not getting torched on a night in, night out basis. This isn't a bad defense. This is still very much a Nick Nurse defense. And of course, with all the teams that had so much attrition early in the season, like Toronto, where they couldn't get everyone healthy, all we expect is this team to get better defensively, not weaker. And I've been impressed with the Raptors defense. I have. A similar story with Phoenix. Phoenix is coming off a no-show defensive game against Miami, where the Heat were hitting everything and the season high in threes for Miami in that ball game. Look at what the Suns have done. Every time they come off a bad defensive game, they lost to Memphis, come back next time, 97 their opponent scored. Boston lit them up. They come back next time. Charlotte, they held Charlotte to 99. It's possible to do that. They did. Against the Clippers after the New Orleans scored $10 against them, 89 against the Clips. I think we see a similar defensive showing from Phoenix tonight. Count me for the under as opposed to the over that those two fine gentlemen like.
All right, good stuff there. Yeah, as low as 5.5 now, by the way, in that Oklahoma City game now as the numbers continue to fall from 9.5. But maybe not. One of the Oklahoma City Thunder will end up on one of these guys' dog ticket here. Let's take a look, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's take a look at what we got here tonight with the Thunder now dropped to right around that 5.5, 6 mark. We've got the Raptors we just talked about, the Memphis Grizzlies we talked, the Pelicans there in the contrarian spot. We got the Clippers as well. And, of course, the red-hot Detroit Pistons. Look at that, 13.5 going up against the Chicago Bulls. So, Ski, start us off here, man. Which one of these would you make your dog tonight?
Pistons have been good as a double-digit dog, but we got paid with them last night. I'll leave that alone. Even though we can't get the best of the number today since it's dropping, I'll go OKC plus the points. I just have a hard time, laying points with the team that can't play any defense. Bottom 10 defensive rated team, last 5 games for the Wizards. So give me the plus points with OKC.
All right, good stuff there. Take the points now with OKC. Teddy, which one of these you making your dog tonight?
Rob Vino made a really important point a couple of minutes ago, right here on the show, talking about the teams get their stars and their starters back in the lineup, but then they lose and they get worse for a couple games. I'll tell you what I do, Rob. When a team gets a star back, the markets go this way, I go this way. 100% of the time, I'll often lower a team's power rating, not significantly, but by a point or two for the first game or two when a star comes back. The Phoenix Suns just got 2 starters back in the lineup on Saturday against Miami, Andre Ayton and Jay Crowder, as well as backup big man JaVale McGee. And they proceeded to play their worst game in weeks and got bombed in that contest. Here's the quote from Monty Williams, which is actually saying something that Rob has said, that I've said, that Ski's said, that Joe said. We talk about it all the time. Here's a coach flat out telling us to bet against teams when they get their star backs. Quote, I just think it takes some time to get your rhythm back. It felt off all night long with the rotations against Miami. Here, Phoenix got their guys back. I don't care. Toronto's the hottest team this side of Memphis in the NBA right now. They're bet on all the way. And I think the Suns get tested tonight, if not get beat. Give me Toronto plus the points.
Boom! Raptors looking to remain red hot here. How about it, Rob? Which way you looking? Which one of these dogs? There's no Houston. There's no Orlando. So tell me, where are you going here tonight?
Wow, Joe, I'm going to go
I know it.
off into outer space here, never land, and double down on the contrarian play here because I think New Orleans plus the points is the right side, especially if Patrick Beverley doesn't make it back to the lineup. Minnesota's like handicapping two different teams with and without Patrick Beverley in the lineup as far as their defense is concerned. I don't know if he gets in the locker room and just lights everybody up and forces them to play defense when he's around. But when he's not around, it's like having a substitute teacher because they don't play any defense. So I think New Orleans, healthy. They've done it piece by piece. The last piece, like I said earlier, Thomas Satoransky is going to come in and provide some backup minutes here tonight. I think at home, the schedule they've played, we talked about a bunch of the reasons before, the difference in strength of schedule recently. I'm going to try New Orleans plus 3.5 here at home against Minnesota.
All right, boom. Back in double down. Pelicans plus 3.5 here, guys. All right, so when you put it all together here, we've got ourselves 6 games on the card. We'll see if these guys maybe like one of these games a little bit more than the other. Throw 60 seconds on the clock. Ski, kick us off, man. Where are you going here tonight? Best bet.
To the surprise of nobody, I'm going to take a little jab at Teddy and go the opposite way here. I like the Phoenix Suns tonight. You know, it's a couple things and a couple reasons why. Just like I talked about the Golden State game, you know, Toronto's been winning all these games, right? And they come in here and now they're a dog. I told you those teams on a 5+ win streak as a dog, they win 34.6% of the time. Also, Phoenix is the more rested team. Road favorites with more rest than their opponent win 67% of the time, going all the way back to 1995. And with the 4-point spread, you know, that's kind of pretty much just asking them to win. You know, I agree with you that when a star comes back, I don't necessarily want them in that first game, but they've had a couple days to work things out now. And it's not going to be that way forever. They're the more talented team. Toronto could be without a couple guys on the court with Gary Trent Jr. and Scotty Barnes. Give me the Phoenix Suns minus the 4. And like I said before, I took a little bit on the money line too. I've been making my own line. So if you do that, you create a minus 141 line for this game tonight.
All right, man. Ski all in on the Suns. All right, talk to us here, Teddy. 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you heading here tonight? What do you think?
So Rob Vino came on Wager Talk today this morning, and he gave as strong a case for an underplay as I can remember. Everything made perfect sense. I went back and did some work. I'm like, sorry, Rob, I got to use your play. But that would be the Pistons and the Bulls under the total. We're seeing 219.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
These two teams, let's say every meeting since they played the last 6 since the start of 2020, has stayed under the total. None of those totals been higher than this. They're all at 220 or lower in those games. The 2 meetings this year, 97-82, 94-88, staying under by 34 and 35.5 points. We have a Pistons team coming off the hottest shooting game they're going to have all year. I don't think that's going to happen twice. And we have quotes coming out of Chicago saying we want to slow the pace. We just played a terrible defensive game. We have to step it up defensively. Look for the Bulls and Pistons stay under the total.
Boom! Love it, guys. And don't forget, Teddy's best bet here in that Golden State-Memphis game. The side is available right now. If you head over to WagerTalk and/or sportsmemo.com, go grab the play, go grab the write-up. Hurry up, get it while you can. And Rob Vino happens to be our $2 handicapper of the day at WagerTalk. That means his best bet tonight on the hardwood, just $2, guys. All you got to do is head over to WagerTalk.com. Go grab the best bet, just $2 right now at WagerTalk. And Rob, which one of these games might you be leaning towards a little bit more than the others?
You know, I probably wish that the Bradley Beal thing didn't happen, but I'm still going to go to that game, Joe, and play Oklahoma City, Washington under the total. I think we're looking at 211 now. It's been reduced to because Beal's not playing. But Oklahoma City has just been a miserable offensive team. They haven't hit 100 points in, I think it's 4 straight, 5 of the last 6, something like that. Just a bunch of 90s. And I get they've had players in and out of the lineup, but the last couple of games they've had guys back. And, you know, they had taken on a defensive attitude when they were totally healthy. And it seems like now that they're back together, they've gotten that back. They're playing far more defense than they are offense. I think Washington without Beal becomes a lot easier to defend. To me, this looks like a slower pace game. with not a bunch of great shooters on the floor, unless they shoot lights out, Pistons style last night. I don't think this game makes it to 211. So give me OKC Washington under the total 211.
Boom! Under. Yeah, Wizards, by the way, 0-4 against the number when favored by 5 or more points. That number has now climbed up to 6.5 in books as it continues to roll on. All right, there you go, guys. And, let's take a look here. Our good friend John Ryan, sportsmemo.com, in honor of Rob Vino and Ski Profit. He sent along his angle of the day. And why don't we take a look here? Phoenix and Toronto. And he writes that, number one, we want to bet on road favorites coming off an upset loss and who have had 2 days to chew on that loss. 35-20 against the number, Ski, 64% over the last 5 seasons here. He likes the Phoenix Suns here with his angle of the day. And this may be, take a picture, the first time we see Ski shaking his head in agreement and understanding the NBA angle of the day, courtesy of John Ryan. Appreciate that, John Ryan, over at sportsmemo.com as well. And to recap it all for you guys, here it is. Ski Profit, his dog tonight, OKC, the Thunder, +6, now 6.5. And his best bet agrees with the angle of the day there, Suns -4, while Teddy, he likes the Raptors tonight getting 4, and his best bet is going to be the Pistons Bulls go under 219.5 right now in that one, while Rob Vino, he agrees with the contrarian gods. What an odd day this is, which means I have to go bet Minnesota immediately. Pelicans +3.5 and the Thunder Wizards under 211. And the Pelicans there, as you guys see, is the contrarian play of the day. Best bets are available, locked and loaded right now, guys. WagerTalk.com. You can go grab Ski's card. He's got a lot of plays he likes tonight in the association. Rob Vino is the $2 handicapper right now at WagerTalk. Go grab his best bet on the card tonight for $2. And Teddy, he's locked and loaded. Golden State Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies. Go grab that play now over at WagerTalk.com. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, guys. Make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll have another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show getting you ready. But in the meantime, on behalf of Ski, Teddy, and Rob Vino, appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with the plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.